watching wants to see. Intensity, commitment, putting New Zealand on their heels and being the instigators of the match. And Mikey Barras, in his press conferences and to us in training the other day, talked about verticality. Yeah, test this New Zealand side. Play between the lines. Take chances. He uses this word brave. We didn't see a lot of bravery, definitely in the first half of last game. So also there's some personnel out there that make you think, like, how are they gonna line up? Because there's a lot of attacking threat out there. So we'll see if the response comes that Pochettino would want, that Mikey would want, and all the U.S. soccer fans are looking for.
6 changes being made to the starting lineup tonight, so some opportunities for some players to come in and make an impact as the U.S. men's national team takes on New Zealand here in Cincinnati at TQL Stadium. As the US men's national team takes on New Zealand, and tonight for the first time Chris Richards is the captain of the US. He becomes the first player from the state of Alabama to captain this US men's national team.
Well, we spoke to him in training, and he just talked about players having to, obviously you want to push them, you want to lead by example, as the armband tends to suggest, but players got to rise their own levels at times. And we saw he's going to go against a big boy today. He was standing next to Chris Wood. Expect service into the box, and they have to be switched on, because this New Zealand team has no problem getting the ball in the box and creating some issues.
Also today, Aidan Morris coming into the starting lineup as one of the 6 changes made from the 11 that started against Canada. Turner comes back in goal. Fossey makes a debut. McKenzie in at the back alongside Richards. And then Morris, Pepe and Wright all coming in for Mikey Barras, who takes charge as the interim head coach for the second time. So it's understandable on a night like this that there might be one eye on the future and what is to come under the leadership of Mauricio Pochettino. But on the pitch, there is a job to be done here and a response needed after the defeat by 2-1 against Canada in Kansas City at the weekend. New Zealand were also in action on Saturday against CONCACAF opposition. They lost 3-0 against Mexico at the Rose Bowl as Fossey's header forward finds Balogun, and Pepe, who will play in a wide right role today, goes chasing down that far side. Bit of a different role for Ricardo Pepe as he looks to impact the game from wider today. Not often that he's started alongside Flo Balogun in the starting lineup for the US. In fact, this is just the second time that has happened. The last time was the TNT Nations League game last November, 2-1 loss in Trinidad and Tobago. New Zealand coming forward here, having created very little against Mexico at the Rose Bowl at the weekend, but they were looking to take advantage there of a US giveaway. And one thing that right from the start everybody is looking for today, Kyle, is an improvement in intensity in the first half.
Yeah, improvement in intensity and also being clean with the ball. But the good part is when one's there and the other isn't, Musa gives the ball away cheaply, but Morris right away trying to close it down.
Musa gives the ball away again, and Garbutt will strike. And 90 seconds in, New Zealand have their first shot. The man in charge today is Selvin Brown, the referee from Honduras, his second US game as the referee. He took charge of the 3-1 win against Jamaica, which went to extra time, of course, in the Nations League semi-final in March. Aidan Morris trying to win that one back, but it's been given away once again here. He just can't quite get there, and it's cleared towards halfway. New Zealand coming off that defeat against Mexico, making 4 changes, including bringing in Finn Surman, who recently made the move to MLS with Portland Timbers. Surman part of the back line alongside Lando Painaka, who also came in. Alex Rufer and Elijah Just, the other players who have come into the starting lineup for Darren Baisley today. A couple of players with MLS links dropping out, including Minnesota's Michael Boxall, who captained the side at the weekend on his 50th appearance for his country, and Tommy Smith, the former Colorado Rapids defender, also dropping out. So a new pairing at the back tonight for New Zealand. This one's played forward towards Haji Wright, and well recovered there by Tim Payne, the veteran right back.
I love that look. The great part about having Pepe and Haji Wright in these wide positions is at times making vertical runs when Balogun tucks in and almost joining and making a strike partnership. And play direct, test this back line from New Zealand early on.
It can certainly be a fluid front three, can't it? With Balogun starting down the middle, but plenty of movement between those three. Wright on the left and Pepe on the right. Here's Lund pushing forward from the left side. It was a year ago yesterday that Christopher Lund made his US men's national team debut in St. Louis. This is the first time he started back-to-back games. Aronson with a bit of an opportunity to play it through. Haji Wright going in, but Krokum is able to make the save.
That was a wonderful idea from Aronson. It almost looked like Wright just doesn't read it. And look at how much time Morris has on the ball. I mean, it couldn't be any different than what it was like against Canada, but that's just Wright. He's just got to take off. He's got to trust that Aronson's going to get the pace of that and the timing of that right.
First start together at the back for Mark McKenzie and Chris Richards. McKenzie's ball inside for Yunus Musah. Musah's 41st cap tonight.
And already the shape of the U.S. much better than in that first game. They've got their fullbacks very high forward, inverted wingers, just creating different passing lanes that have options and triangles going forward. They're so static last game, already a little better.
Lund, back it comes to McKenzie. Here's Chris Richards, 24-year-old from Birmingham, Alabama, with a lovely ball through to pick out Ricardo Pepi. And now Fossey trying to get him down the right side on his debut here. Fossey has Aronson in the middle. Balogun was at the back post. It's held up here for Haji Wright. Wright with a nice touch, but he couldn't get the shot away. And the pressure coming early here inside the first 5 minutes from the US as Fossey plays it back here for Musah. Aidan Morris, the former Columbus man, now in the championship in England with Middlesbrough. Morris getting his first US assist on the goal scored by Luca Della Torre against Canada. This is Lund down the left side, Palermo defender, forward for Balogun, who will try and have a run at Tim Payne.
Yeah, New Zealand defending almost out of a 4-1-4-1, and US just doing really well to drag them out of those blocks and get them to push up and find these little angles.
Free kick given here. The referee played advantage for a moment. This is taken quickly. Great thinking by Morris. Balogun couldn't find Haji Wright. And now the free kick going the way of New Zealand. It was Heinacher who was fouled, the Auckland FC man. Luke Wildman and Kyle Martino in the broadcast booth. Melissa Ortiz is pitch side.
Yesterday we got to speak to goalkeeper Matt Turner about his thoughts on where this team has been, and he said preparation has been good, the trainings have been good, but when it comes to preparation mentally, there's something that has been missing there. They've been searching internally, get that finger on it, and demand more from each other. And he said they want to be a team that teams don't want to play against. He said first 15 minutes of this match, he wants a team to lay the foundation of competition, something that we didn't see against Canada, which is having each other's backs out there, putting in a good tackle, winning 50-50s, those second balls, and really making New Zealand turn their face to goal. And I think in these first 6 minutes, that's really what we've been seeing for the most part.
New Zealand away down the right here. As McKenzie gets a touch to it, and the challenge with Elijah Just. He plays for St. Pölten in Austria. The other thing Matt Turner brought up, Kyle, was the fact that over the last 3 windows, the United States have started really slowly in each international window. In March, they conceded 30 seconds in, needed that stoppage time goal to go to extra time against Jamaica in the Nations League semi-final. In June, they lost the first game 5-1 against Colombia. This time, they conceded after 17 minutes and lost 2-1 against Canada in the first game of the window. Is there anything to that?
I mean, it's not on the coaches. That's something that's on the players. I mean, it's just inexcusable not to bring the requisite level of competitive spirit and need something to go wrong before you react. And so that's something that Pochettino will have to figure out where it's coming from and get leaders that he can empower to do the work on the field to raise that level.
If you are just joining us a little late tonight and missed the pre-game show, the news confirmed tonight that Mauricio Pochettino is the new head coach of the United States men's national team. He will fly to the US tomorrow. Here's Musah, forward through the middle, but Matthew Garbett with the challenge. Matthew Garbett, one of the players in this 11 that plays in Europe.
Yeah, that's 3 turnovers already for Musa. You know, he's one of the veteran players in this camp. I mean, forget age and experience and expectations, and he's got to be cleaner with the ball.
Given away this time by Balogun. Tim Payne of Wellington Phoenix brings it forward down the right side. Just. New Zealand couldn't keep it in play on the near side. They have 3 players in the lineup that started against the US at the Olympics. The US won that game by 4-1. Matthew Garbutt, one of them. The other 2 are Finn Sermon at the back and Joe Bell in midfield. Darren Baisley is the head coach of New Zealand. He is former assistant coach at Colorado Rapids in MLS during the time when Anthony Hudson there was the head coach. Baisley had worked with Hudson with New Zealand. And Baisley took charge of the Olympic side as well this summer, the U23s. He's also previously coached against Mikey Varas with the U20s as well. Rufer. Payne down the right on his 40th cap. It's all the way through to Matt Turner, who hasn't played a competitive club game since February, and having not been included in the squad for Nottingham Forest the first 3 Premier League games of this season, was able to get a late move away to Crystal Palace, where he now sits next to Chris Richards in the locker room. And Matt Turner is hoping for some game time this season as the backup keeper at Crystal Palace now, having been out of the picture at Forest. Had to leave the movies on deadline day when he got the call about the deal to Crystal Palace. This is just towards the edge of the penalty area here, steps inside, takes a deflection on the way through, and then the block comes in from Aidan Morris. Painacker dispossessed here by Ricardo Pepi. Pepi has played or been tried in a wide role on the right side with PSV, as they tried to find a way to get Pepi into the team last year. De Jong was scoring goals for fun, and Pepi was always making an impact off the bench, and it hasn't quite worked for him that way at club level.
I'm really looking forward to what Pochettino gets out of Pepi, because in terms of mentality, you get the exact same work ethic. He's been great off the bench, and I think that was the frustration of Greg Berhalter, and one of the reasons he was left out is just figuring out where he fits in and figuring out how a system can get Pepi in a role that he's consistent and comfortable with. And Pochettino has a very talented player that I don't think we've seen the best of him. So I'll be watching that over this cycle.
He comes for Richards, the captain on the night.
And I'll tell you, Balogun, I love him. He's good with the ball. He combines, but you got to score. You got to score. That really, if you think about the players that Pochettino's played with and coached, very rarely does now he's had the Harry Kanes and so on and so forth. So he's had people that are incredible goal scorers and play with Batistuta and the like, but you want to start up top, you got to bang in goals.
2 goals in 10 games for the US for Balogun, the Monaco man. Lund inside for Morris. Morris talked to us yesterday about how he is acting like a sponge, learning that midfield role from his new club manager, Michael Carrick, who did it for so long, so well for Manchester United during his club career. But he also talked about the difficulty settling in for someone who's a bit of a homebody and used to friends and family in Ohio for 7 years. Maybe the northeast of England is a little bit different to what he's used to in terms of the facilities, by the way.
Robbie Musto's texting me right now saying it's not all that bad over there.
He compared what he's now into to the state-of-the-art facilities in Columbus. But he said it was a dream for him since a young boy to go and test himself in Europe, and that was one of the reasons that Mikey Varas said he deserved rewarding with a place in this squad to begin with and in this team tonight, because he's not taken the easy option. He's been brave with the move to the Championship in England. And Morris has his goal set now on playing in the Premier League next season. Came in and impacted the game on the weekend.
You're going to see Aronson come into your picture right now. I mean, he's just working so hard off the ball, trying to find these little spaces.
Haji Wright was trying to get him around the back, but he was offside there.
That's one thing I love about Aronson's game is a lot of times he's either this false 9 or he plays on the wing and comes in the middle. He's made a lot of dynamic runs off the ball that's freeing people up. It's tight, just leaning in an offside position.
Wright just getting in behind Finn Sermon there. Sermon Turns 21 later in September. Was away at the Olympics, but has now joined Portland. Made the move to the Timbers in July after 3 years with Wellington Phoenix. On the bench the last 2 MLS games, Finn Surman, who is one for the future, certainly to keep an eye on in Major League Soccer. It's the first meeting between these teams since a game at RFK in 2016 when it finished 1-1. Anthony Hudson, who was, of course, the interim head coach for the US last year, was the New Zealand coach that day. Julian Green gave the US a first-half lead. It finished tied. The last US win against New Zealand was all the way back in 2003, 2-1 in Richmond, Virginia. Klein and Karofsky scored the goals. Remember that one? You came on as a sub, so did Bees.
I remember standing on the side, coming to the game, going, just don't give the first ball away. And I didn't, but thankfully.
Musa forward towards halfway. Mark McKenzie now plays for Toulouse, moved there from Genk in mid-August, making the switch from Belgium to France. Richards has it. Into the 15th minute, no goals so far. This is Lund down the left side. It's interesting, Mikey Barris had talked to us about Christopher Lund getting forward and having the strength and the abilities to be an attack-minded fullback. And then when we spoke to Christopher Lund, he said that's a completely different way of thinking to the way it is in Italy. The coach says you're a left back, you defend, you stay as the left back.
Like, see that big line in the middle of the field? You don't go over that.
Patience here from the US. Aronson back towards Richards. Balogun coming deep to get it. Heineke tracking him all the way. Morris now trying to play the pass through. Aronson couldn't quite find Fossey, who makes his debut tonight, having been in the squad once before. That was back before the Gold Cup in 2019. Celebrated his birthday, 26 years old yesterday. LA born, but moved to the island of Jersey at the age of 4. And grew up through the Fulham Academy. Had some injury problems as well during his career. Now playing with Standard Liège in Belgium. His 3rd season there.
Well, if that sends a message, it's you never know when the call comes. You got to keep training. Got to hope you get that chance. And he was so incredibly. He was glowing when he was talking about.
He said gratitude was the word
that
came after the injuries and the fact that for so long from 2019 when he came in the first camp, he heard nothing.
New coach, new era, new opportunities.
Fossey with the throw up towards halfway. Balogun battling for it. Pepe now trying to win it for the US in the challenge on the far side there. Heineke with the foul. New Zealand with an early shot here. They didn't have a shot against Mexico at the Rose Bowl until the 69th minute. They were outshot 13-2, and both shots they did have were from outside the box. They had 20 crosses, only 2 were completed, and just 3 touches in the attacking penalty area.
Safe to say that was a frustrating game for them.
Long ball forward here from Richards. Balogun with a little flick into the path of Pepe. Fossey making the way down the right side, up against Cacace, the left back who plays for Empoli in Italy. Aidan Morris towards right. Chris Wood able to chest it off, and referee just give the foul here. Foul by Yunus Musa. He doesn't think it was the right call from referee Selvin Brown.
Yeah, they're going to start using that outlet more and more. Chris Wood as the U.S. creates good possession, good moments where they're in attacking posture. Chris Wood's so good when you hit the ball up as long as he's got someone close. And just a little contact there as Musa does get the ball, but just gets a lot of the player first.
Chris Wood, the all-time leading scorer for New Zealand, 32 years old, plays for Nottingham Forest, two-time New Zealand Footballer of the Year.
Good start to the season for him with Forest as well.
Former teammate, of course, of Matt Turner at Nottingham Forest. Almost 500 career club appearances in England. That is a remarkable achievement. Having played at some huge clubs, the likes of Newcastle and Leeds, also Leicester, Brighton and Burnley. Morris.
One thing I like about Aidan Morris's game is just his willingness to play positive. Yeah, he's always scanning up. He always wants to be able to play that vertical pass.
Now here's Fossey trying to get through it on goal. It's Ricardo Pepi. Pepi! 1-0 for the US. It's Ricardo Pepi with the goal.
Yeah, the New Zealand players immediately storming the referee as this pass comes through. Yeah, they believe there's a foul here where Pepi actually shoves the defender out of the way before the ball comes to him. We'll have to have another look at that, but a wonderful finish. Here's a good angle. Yeah, good little interchange here, but the deflection fortunately comes to Pepi. I don't see much contact there, and that's a lovely finish. I think it's Fossey that toe pokes the ball forward for him. Just as long as the goalkeeper is leaning towards that near post. Doesn't catch it too hard, but the precision is there. And here's a look from the goalkeeper's angle. Probably has to stay on his feet and make that save, but that is a really good finish from that angle for Pepi.
No goal. The referee has just finished talking to the assistant on the far side. Had a look there from the AT&T net cam, but it won't count. And Ricardo Pepi is denied his 11th career US goal. The referee went right. He had a long discussion with the assistant on the far side. As we were watching all those replays, the conversation was going on.
It was just hard. It was really hard to tell how much contact was there. The referee's assistant was close enough to make that goal. It was a lot closer than the center referee.
Would have been Ricardo Pepi's first goal for the US in this calendar year. Hasn't scored in his last 8. Elijah Just. Now Morris with plenty of space deep inside his own half to carry this one forward. He'll look long for Balogun, but there's too much on that one, and out of play it goes.
Here's another look. I mean, he's onside. You can see the cut of the grass right there. And it's, yeah, I don't see a foul there. Fossey gets a tiny little touch on the ball. And the referee's assistant
That doesn't
got that
look
one
to be
wrong.
too much in it. No VAR in this game tonight. Fossey plays it back here for Musa.
I mean, the touch was so slight, but Fossey does advance that ball forward when he lunges for it.
Musa driving through the heart of the midfield. Almost at the midway mark of the first half. Tim Payne with the challenge. The US coming into this one having lost against Canada on home soil for just the second time. They were outshot 17-8, losing 3 in a row for the first time since 2015. They haven't lost 4 in a row since 2007. They've set about this one well in the opening 22 minutes against a team they should beat despite all the changes.
Well, we've seen the response, that's for sure. And a much much better start to this game. Now they're not facing a team like Canada that's the instigator, that's flying out and putting rush on them, but they're doing the things they have to do to dominate this game.
Aronson laid off for Pepe. Pepe's pass to Lund just wasn't quite good enough, and then that's a foul. It was sold short to Christopher Lund, who couldn't get there, but he did get Elijah Just.
And the field is playing really, really fast today, but that's just under hit. Just does well to get to it first and always knows the contact's coming from Lund.
Elijah Just played 25 minutes against Mexico at the weekend, but he gets the start tonight. In the Austrian second division on a season-long loan from AC Horsens in Denmark. Experience in the Under-17 World Cup in India in 2017 and the Under-20 World Cup in Poland in 2019.
Yes, he would. It's a frustrating game when you don't have a lot of possession, and he's just making sure if he's going to flick the ball on or if he's going to hold it up. He's got to have players next to him, and they are playing their attacking 3, sometimes 4, very high, almost wait for that early long ball from the New Zealand back line.
Away it goes by Matt Turner, who hasn't had too much involvement so far tonight. He'd started 11 games in a row in FIFA Windows before Patrick Schulte got the calling goal against Canada at the weekend, and Schulte did a very good job. Fossey gets a touch to it, but it comes back forward by Cacace down the far side. Now Cacace battling with Pepe.
Really well done there.
Lund over halfway. He's got support further to the touchline here from Haji Wright, the Coventry City forward. Wright cutting inside. He's got a bit of space here. Can he get a shot away?
That's really well. Initially, underlapping run, just a drop of the shoulder, but the strength here, just slightly off balance. The ball's bobbling. I think Garbutt just throws him off with that last-minute challenge. Ends up just pulling it wide.
Cresswood trying to win this one in the air. Manages to cushion that header back towards Matthew Garbutt. Tim Payne.
Well, New Zealand need a little bit of possession here. They're defending a lot. You know, the U.S. team isn't really firing out at them. You have to be calm, patient, and composed on the ball if you want to play out of the back.
US starting 11 tonight, averaging 21 caps. This is Aronson. Consecutive starts for Aronson for the US for the first time since November of 2021. Richards back for Turner. Lund. Right. Off for Morris. And the referee gives the free kick here the way of the United States. The US men's national team playing in TQL Stadium for the 4th time. They were last here in June of 2023, Gold Cup quarter-final against Canada, where it finished 2-2 after extra time, and they advanced on penalties. They won here 3-0 against Morocco in June of 2022. Haji Wright scored on his debut. Aronson with a goal that night as well. Musa pushing forward down the right side. Pepe helps the ball back towards Fossey. Now it's Haji Wright. Time and space for Haji Wright as he lets it fly.
Wonderful entry pass from Fossey. Yeah, he just not only puts the right weight on it, but just skips a couple of players that were the easier pass. And it seemed like Haji just couldn't exactly figure out what type of stride he wanted, but knew he wanted to rip the shot. Finally falls onto the left foot, just leaning back slightly as he reaches for it. I like that he's think and shoot, though. I like he's the type of player, especially in a wide position. He's not thinking winger. He's thinking like a striker.
Here towards Lund. Now Fossey, a little bit of space down the right side. Stepping inside against Elijah Just. Back